patterns are everywhere. There are patterns from nature and man made patterns. Symmetry. Symmetry is the quality of being made up of exactly similar parts facing each other or around an axis. This pattern can also be found in the facade of the building, such as the Casa Paniares in Bareilly, where it has the same number of antique windows featuring exactly the same patterns. In nature, such pattern can be seen in various types of flowers like daisy, sunflower, and even in leaves. Types of symmetry: reflection, radial, and translation. Reflection symmetry. Reflection symmetry is also known as bilateral symmetry. It is the mirror effect, or when an object is reflected or flipped across a plane to create an image of itself, just like in some architectures like gates and temples. In nature, reflection symmetry can be reflected in butterflies, other faces of animals, and also in landscapes. Radial symmetry. Radial symmetry is also known as rotation symmetry. It is when one object is rotated in a certain direction around a point. You can vividly distinguish this pattern in wheels, rimset, and mags. In nature, this pattern can also be distinguished in cycas plants. Translation symmetry. Translation symmetry is when something has undergone a movement, a shift, or a slide in a specified distance without any rotation or reflection. In some patterns of aluminum expanded wires, translation symmetry can also be seen. In nature, the most accurate example with the same pattern is the structure of the skin of a pineapple. Spiral. Spiral is a curve which emanates from point moving farther away as it revolves around the point. The shock of a motorcycle also implied a spiral pattern. In nature, spiral pattern is implied in vines which can be found in trees and wild forests. Minders. The term minder is one which refers to a winding curve or bend in a river. It is most commonly used in paintings with rivers underneath a bridge. In nature, minders are evident in the edges of rivers. Waves and dunes. Wave is a physical phenomenon characterized by its frequency, wavelength, and amplitude, and can be formed when there is a distraction. In nature, waves of the seas or the ocean current are an evident examples of wave. Foams and bubbles. Foam is is a substance made by trapping air or gas bubbles inside a solid or liquid. Dishwashing liquid and powdered soap produces bubbles and foam. In nature, the currents of the seas also produce bubbles and foam. Tessellation. Tessellation is tiling that uses shapes to cover a surface with no gaps or overlaps, just like these bricks that can be found in walls of the houses. In nature, the same pattern can also be traced on the skin of a pineapple. Fractures. Fracture occurs when the applied stress is sufficient to break the atomic bonds of the solid, just like this broken empty wine bottle. In nature, fractures can also be found in various phases, and one of these is this broken root of a tree. Crack. Crack is a line in the surface of something along which it is split with breaking into separate parts, just like the surface of the road. In nature, cracks can also be navigated on trees. Stripes are made by series of lines or strips. Stripes are commonly found in the pavements of the roads where it follows the same pattern with the same colors and sizes. In nature, stripes can also be found in the structure of the leaves, like the leaves of San Francisco and the like. Spots. Spots are usually found in paper bags and gift bags. In nature, spots can also be navigated on the surface of the leaves of this plant. Fractals. Fractal is a never-ending pattern, just like this artificial handcrafted rose made from satin ribbons. Fractals can be navigated into bodies of waters, just like the flow of the water of the Mantayupan Falls in Bareilly. Affine transformation. Affine transformation is a linear mapping method that preserves points, straight lines, and planes, just like this type of hairbrush, which follows the same patterns in terms with the colors, length, and the width of the strokes of the brush. In nature, a concrete example of this pattern is this cactus.